just for this moment in time, like I'm just Noah Cyrus, the artist, and like I am not tied down to something right now. And I haven't felt that in 10 years. I'm like at a place where I have the choice of where I get to go next. And I haven't felt something this rewarding in a very long time. So it really does feel for me like a breath of fresh air. I feel like we're on the chicken date shop.
Chicken shop date, but it's high tea.
Yeah.
We're out for a tea. Today, we are joined by Nashville-born, Grammy-nominated musical superstar Noah Cyrus.
Wow.
Wow.
Thank you.
Welcome to Royalties. How are you feeling?
Exhausted.
Yeah.
I'm on tour, so
Real.
like I literally flew in. It felt like this morning, but it was actually yesterday. But like, I'm a little all over the place, but I'm good.
Okay, yeah.
Flying out tonight to Vancouver.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
She's on the road.
I'm on the road.
Thank you for making the time to be here. Hopefully the tea will make for a relaxing time while we have our convo.
Perfect.
So before we get into everything, we're gonna pick out our teas.
I'll take a green tea.
Love. Here you go. While we get this tea started, I'm curious, if your sound was a tea blend, what kind of tea blend do you think it would be?
I love my green tea, but what about THC?
Oh,
You know?
a THC.
THC.
It would be a THC.
Yeah, it would be a THC.
Okay, I absolutely see that. So if it were a THC, wait, would your sound be an indica or a sativa?
An indica.
Absolutely.
Sativa would give us anxiety.
Yeah, no, anyone who loves sativa is crazy, I must say. I kind of want to start at the beginning. Little Noah. So when you're growing up, when you're young, how did you envision being an artist to be? Like, what was your dream?
I did not dream of being an artist as a young kid. I had this grand dream that I would go off to the Olympics, horseback riding, and doing hunters and jumpers, or like making it to the biggest hunter derbies and things like that. I was about 14, 13, I like kind of got the itch of songwriting and just really understood songs and the emotional weight, I think, at an early age. So it wasn't shortly after that I started writing and getting interested in going to the studio and kind of picking up the passion a little later.
And going from that point to where you are now, what aspects of being an artist have exceeded and failed your expectations of what you thought it would be like?
Man, what so much in both directions. I think I had a pretty good idea already of what it was like from growing up watching it from both my sister and my dad and just being a part of it. So really, like, I kind of knew the ins and the outs and like all that could be great and all that could go wrong.
Yeah.
There's so much of both.
Right.
And I've experienced so much of both. So after doing it 10 years, like you definitely look back at things and you wished that they could have had a different outcome. If you have something that's kind of crushing your artistry or like your spirit and your like passion, the time passes and whatever it is that's holding you back, like it's only for a matter of time.
Yeah. The artistic journey is one of like inevitable ups and downs forever and ever.
Exactly.
You just gotta go with the flow.
Exactly.
Considering your family's involvement in early projects and sharing the screen with them as a child, what were conversations like when you wanted to get involved?
It was mostly with my mom. And my mom really wanted me to wait until I was 21 to get into music. I really understand why.
Yeah.
But there was no holding me back or like not supporting me if it was something I wanted to do at 15 or 14, 15, 16. But she definitely had like her reservations and everything mom said would happen came true. So
isn't it how it goes?
It's how it goes.
I feel like I would liken that to like, I wanted to get a tattoo when I was 17 so bad. And my parents were like, girl, don't do it. Like, but then you go and you do the thing and then you get older and you're like, oh, I kind of understand my parents' perspective.
I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Regretful?
The tattoos have come together beautifully, though. They're like a beautiful mosaic.
Thank you.
Yes. I got my tattoos, like, by the time that I want to remove
So you do
them.
have tattoos?
I have a couple.
Oh, wait.
They're more hidden. I have, like, finger tattoos.
Okay.
I have a little tramp stamp.
Oh.
I have a little sternum tattoo.
Oh.
we're
I want both of those. So I haven't gone like here yet, like
Yeah.
on the sternum or on my back. Oh no. Wait. Is there a tattoo here? Like,
There's one on your shoulder right here.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
I just got that. So that's like my first one on my back.
Yeah.
I like have an angel wings on my neck, but that's not the same. So I'm ready for the
The back is fun.
tramp stamp.
Yeah.
The TS.
The TS, the tramp stamp. I feel like a woman with a tramp stamp. I can't lie.
This is so cute.
The tiniest knife you've ever seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's very cute. I'm actually gonna use this to get some
like,
honey in my tea while I get into
Stab your little heart out.
Ooh.
Oh.
So this year marks 10 years since your start in the industry, signing a record deal at age of 15. So when you signed that record deal at 15, what did the conversations with your family look like, and how aware were you of what the deal entailed?
How long do you got? I have had a very unique situation. It's actually a really tricky question because we're here 10 years later and I signed at 15.
Right.
So I am at the end of that deal, and it's something that feels refreshing that I have artistic and free will.
Yeah.
I wish a lot of strength and clarity to younger artists that may be signing such serious things at such young ages and being minors. It's like, you really are, it's like not even dramatic to say like signing your life and your artistry like to somebody. So it's just like, So things change over time, especially from the time you're 15 to 25. So that is a complex and long, difficult answer to do in such a short amount of time. It would take our entire interview plus your next for us to get through it all. So.
Yeah, lots to unpack, but definitely understand where you're coming from with that. And it is going to be a really interesting new chapter to, decide how you do move forward. What is something that 25-year-old Noah would tell 15-year-old Noah now, if you could speak to her?
Read between the lines, girl. Read between the lines. That and listen more to mom. Listen more to your mom because she is right. And when mom tells you that she's right and always right, believe her because it's true. Everything that came as being a 17 and 16-year-old artist with songs that are doing well and you're out on tour and making friends in the industry and those people's choices influence you and your friend group and your friend choices influence you and the decisions you're gonna make, and it all comes into play somehow, all in the same, comes in with the music, with the deal, with everything. It's like you learn so much over the time that it's like, it's not natural for a kid to be in the position that an artist is in at such young ages. It's just something that's like against nature.
Yeah.
So whenever you're put into that situation, you're going to act like a regular kid and do kid things. And, and then adult things will happen to a kid, and that's really hard as well.
Yeah. And so if you are a young kid in that position, what do we learn? Listen to your mom.
Listen to your mom, be protective, and I would just say be protective of yourself and make sure that you have a management team, because that's your core right there.
Yeah.
Like that your management team, that you trust them and you trust them to get you through those deals and through all of those tours and the emotional struggles and knowing that they're there for you and they want to take care of you and be your champions, and that's such an important piece of the puzzle.
Yeah. You grew up surrounded by talented musicians who've crafted their own lanes in the industry, But your path and your sound have always been very much your own, very unique, and you've done a great job of like exploring who you are and expressing it very uniquely. So what has that journey been like for you building your own brand and your own vision for your music career?
I always just made music like the music I liked listening to. So, and same with my visuals. Like, I'm really into dark fantasy, and I've put a lot of that into my visuals and pictures that the lyrics paint. Is just that it's all comes from a very like cinematic place.
Yeah, and it translates so well too. It's just really beautiful watching how your visuals and the music tie in together so well. Like you're very good at building worlds.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're a master. And I'd love to talk a little bit about the newest project. I want my loved ones to go with me. Super exciting new release. Can you share from your journey of creating the album any pivotal moments that you had in preparation for like putting it together?
I think the most pivotal I remember is that we were really heavily going for a more alternative and more of that like more of a like an indie rock element.
Yeah.
In regards to like sonics and like actual sounds in the instruments and how we were treating the instruments. And then there was one day that we just had the idea of like, let's just take a whole new approach. We're not going to see each other for a few weeks. And during those few weeks, let's just like take all of that away and just hear what the music is doing without any of that. And in doing that, we found that the album, it works and gets the message across so much clearer from a raw place in the music, just like the lyrics. And so it was really stripping things back and hearing what their raw sounds are and then going off of that and not trying to chase my exact references. So it really ended up turning into something much more authentic and organic and raw.
Yeah, and the final product was gorgeous and came out amazing. And when you're putting together an album and you have your business brain on, especially after everything you've been through as you've grown in the industry, how have you learned to maximize your royalties and income with a new project while not losing the passion beneath the project and the music?
In my perspective, it's hard to not get anxious about those things as an artist. And I think keeping the main focus and the integrity on the art and focusing on your writing and your artistry and not letting the focus be on the more scary thing, like how do I get compensated for this? How do I support myself touring? Because that's something that every artist is going to go through. Mm-hmm. But I think while making the work and making the music, like the thought is on the music and the art. And it's something that you do battle as an artist. And it is hard supporting yourself as an artist, especially because touring and relationships with labels and radio and everything has changed so much. Artists aren't making the income the same ways that they were beforehand.
Yeah.
While making music, I try not to think about those because I think that's a future moment.
Yeah, definitely. Or correct me if I'm wrong, but maybe it's like, yeah, when you're making the music, the focus is on the music and the artistry. And then when you're having the business brain on, that's kind of like a separate time. Like there's a time for that, and then there's a time to create. And you kind of keep those like separate.
Yeah. Business also just scares me. It's so scary.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, like there definitely is like, it's like compartmentalizing the two. And I think I've had to like learn to get better at that.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially like when I'm thinking about my tour right now and like financially supporting yourself as a touring artist at the level we're touring at, and you want to be able to give a good show and you want to be able to bring your whole band and you want to be able to showcase the music as it is as an album, but you also have to deal with all the regular touring fees. Like the anxiety before a tour, like I was like physically sick for like a week and like not able to eat and like throwing up in the morning because of like how much stress the actual side of the business comes into play and how much it actually does really fall on the artist to take care of that. And so it is hard to balance the two.
Yeah. So when you are facing that, you have the tour looming, you have all these things you have to take care of. How do you approach that and how do you tackle those things?
Clearly not very well because I get physically sick over them. But thoroughly communicating with your team and like everybody being on the same page, I think is such an important piece because if you have people on a team that are not all connecting at once, it's like, and we even had that like transparently with this tour is like there were mistakes that were made because of us not having the most thorough communication with each other.
Yeah.
And when we figured that all out, that saved our tour. And so it is really about the communication you have with your day-to-day, the communication the day-to-day has with your business managers, the communication the business manager has with your tour manager, the communication the tour manager has with your manager, and all of them together, your production manager, your band, your musical director. There's so many moving pieces. You need trailers, you need trucks, you need buses. Can you afford one? Can you afford two? What's the down payment? What are the lighting packages? There's so many fucking, there's so many things to a tour. I'm clearly very like,
it's
this
a
newly
lot.
fresh conversations.
Yeah.
But it's a lot when you're going on tour and then you're just like, oh, but I was just going on tour to like perform with my family and make music.
Yeah.
And like now it's like we really have to look at, it becomes about numbers. And that's originally not what you want music to be about.
Yeah. People don't know how much it takes to put this all together and how much pressure really does land on the artist. So to be able to have a team that can work so well together to communicate even through the mistakes, come back together and make it work.
And people that are wanting to be honest and realistic about where finances are at and what your capabilities are for the level you're touring at.
Yeah.
Because if you're undershooting or overshooting, you're gonna run into trouble. And it's just something that like you learn over time.
Yeah.
And touring truly is a very tough business and it's not for the weak in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah. I hope you give yourself like a really big like sweet treat reward or something after this tour is all done.
Oh, I have sweet treats every night after show.
You deserve them.
Yeah, we have like, we love our bus driver, Cheyenne. So this is like our third tour with Cheyenne driving us.
Yeah.
And Tracy, our tour manager the other day was like, hey, so do you mind, like, what do you need for the bus? Like, we're getting the runner to go to the grocery store. Like, what do we usually need? Like, what kind of milk do you drink? What do you want this, and this? He was like, oh, well, I already got the zebra cakes, so I think we're good. And she was like, zebra cakes? What are the zebra cakes? He was like, Noah eats zebra cakes every night after the show.
Yeah.
So I'm always having sweet treats. And she was like, okay, well, I didn't even know that zebra cakes are a thing, but okay, sure, got it.
The zebra cakes are very important.
Yeah, zebra cakes. So that's also like a like nostalgic sweet treat that my grandma used to give me. So like, yeah, every time I see a zebra cake, I like picture her being like, Noah, you want a zebra cake with your sweet tea? Like, literally, and your fruit roll up that I gave you for breakfast? Like, she was just like the sweet treat queen.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
So the sweet treat runs in the family.
It runs in the family.
We love that. We love that.
Like, not orange juice, Sunny D. You know, like
extra sweet.
Yeah, extra sweet.
Extra sweet, extra sugary. Also, on the side of like music business, finance, artists getting paid, Sound Exchange is always advocating for a more transparent music industry. And in your eyes, from your perspective and your experiences, what does the future look like where artists are consistently and transparently paid for their work? What do you think needs to change to get us there?
Well, what I think is, and it goes back to kind of what I was saying with like, you want to be able to focus on creating your art and keep the art to its art and the business to the business. And I think with something like Sound Exchange, it allows and ensures that the artist's future can be that way.
Yeah.
And that's what I hope for that with artists in their future, is that it does allow the artistic freedom for artists to go back to focusing on art and less about how can we get by as artists without compensation.
Yeah.
I think that's also something you want to see with support of smaller artists, and hopefully this will soon be able to get smaller artists at earlier stages in their career, being able to fund their career and do their tours and do their things and have their money and still be able to take care of themselves for life, because you look at everything and it's like, how do I take care of all of this? So that would be a hope that's one of my hopes with Sound Exchange and with the futures of royalty and payment and all of the things, that it's just also like something that, like, as an artist, you're like, this is why I make music. Like, I am not an accountant, so I hopefully one day there's just a place where music can be music again, and artists can enjoy the art without really worrying about that compensation and how they're gonna.
Yeah, without having to get a literal degree in accounting.
Right.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I love that answer. In the midst of having such a successful career, which achievement was most personally rewarding to you, and which was most financially rewarding?
Most rewarding? Golly gee, I don't know, honestly. Maybe like, this is a pretty rewarding moment in my career right now, that I'm like at a place where I have the choice of where I get to go next.
Yeah.
And I haven't felt something this rewarding in a very long time.
Yeah.
And so it really does feel for me like a breath of fresh air, that like, just for this moment in time, like, I'm just Noah Cyrus, the artist, and like, I am not tied down to something right now. And I haven't felt that in 10 years, and it just feels really good. And so this is a very nice place to be in at the moment.
Yeah, beautiful place to be in, and I'm glad you get to have that experience after all this time.
Thanks.
You know?
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. What's one thing you wish more people understood about you as an artist?
I don't know. The thought doesn't really keep me up, but I think that I don't know. I guess I would just be about the genuine care I have and love for music, and just that I am a music fan that loves to make music, and I don't have really other reasons that I want to do it, other than I love to write songs, and I love to reach people, and I love to hit places in people where they may be hurting or may need healing, and I think that's the best and most rewarding thing as an artist, is that you get to do that for people.
Yeah.
So I guess that's the intention behind me as an artist.
Yeah, beautiful. And if your legacy could be described in one word,
My legacy.
what would that be?
Billy Ray Cyrus. I don't know. I would give it all to him. I'm like, he started it. He started it all.
Give it all up to Billy Ray.
Exactly.
And last final question, Noah. If you could write an inspirational message on a tea bag, what would it be?
My fiance and I went to Panda Express the other day, and I had a fortune cookie, and my fortune said, "Good fortune is coming soon."
Yeah.
So the fortune just told me to keep looking for good fortune. So I guess I would just say the same thing on my tea bag, because I haven't gotten it yet.
Yeah.
So I'm still waiting.
Good fortune is on its way to you right now.
Good tea is on the way.
Good tea is on
And then
the
I'm going to
way.
get a call from my friend Johnny behind, and he's going to be like, "Sis, guess what?"
Exactly.
Piping tea is on the way.
Piping
that
hot
would be
tea
my
is on
message.
the way.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Well, Noah, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you. Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. All tea. Beautiful. You want to do a little cheers?
Yeah, sure. Do we cheers on this side or this side?
Let's cheers on this
Probably
side. Yeah, we'll do a little cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers,
Hey.
girl. Yes. A little sip. Did it brew? It did. It's nice.
It's so good.
It's very good. You're like,
So So good. I love it.
I love my tea.
I love my tea. That's the
I love my
tea.
tea. All right.
That's the tea, folks.
That's the tea, folks. All right, we can get up and head on out of here.